feel. Ooh, ooh, ooh. And you know how I feel. And you know how I feel. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Ooh, ooh, ooh. And you know how I feel. And you know how I feel. Ooh, ooh, ooh. And you know how I feel. And you know how I feel. Ooh, ooh, ooh.
Okay, so y'all should be hearing me. I hope that you can. And I've got some bad news maybe. Here we go. Yeah, I've got some bad news maybe that, you know, there's always something. If you're on Facebook, if anyone is here and can hear me, let me know. Okay, so I'm assuming that I'm going out to you guys. It looks like I am, and that everything should be good. So, okay. Okay, sweet. All right. So you can hear me on Twitch. That means you can hear me everywhere. So thank you guys for that feedback. So here's the deal. I already looked, and there were like 5 or 6 people on YouTube, and I want to let you know that I cannot, for whatever reason, I cannot Sweet. Thanks, Rachel. I can't see your comments, and that's a major drag. And, it's funny, just sometimes like software things happen, and I apologize for this. I really don't know what to tell you. You could message me through Facebook. You could try to watch on Facebook. You could switch over to Twitch. It's HoopPathBax. Or you can stay on YouTube. It just that the comments, which I love and I really need and love, for whatever reason aren't working. And it says that the quick fix is for me to delete my YouTube from my restream and put it back up, and that just seems crazy. So send them telepathically to me. So anyway, I want to announce and say a couple of things. I've got some no YouTube feed. Really? Huh. I'm not on YouTube. That's interesting. Okay, it says that I have 11 people watching on YouTube, so I'm not... Okay, so am I on YouTube, or... It was working fine. Okay, Kelly, thank you for your information there. I don't know what's going on, y'all. This is computers, man. Something crazy is happening every single time. Actually, I'm going to turn that off for a second. Okay. So thank you guys for joining me. I want to get right into it. Tonight's class is on paddles and lifts. To my knowledge, I had never heard anyone talk about the move, the paddle, or call it a paddle before I did. But, when it comes to hoop moves, it's just kind of whoever and whatever, I will say that breaks and the combination of paddles really helped me achieve a certain level of recognition in the hoop world that then allowed me to go on and teach. So what a paddle is... Oh, Danielle, sweet. Okay, Sarah says, now it's okay. Karen is here. Sweet. Thank you guys for joining me. So paddles. I want to jump into this class because I'm sure we'll have a lot of cool stuff to cover. Again, if you are on YouTube, if you're joining me late, there's a lot of you on there. I can't see your comments. I don't know what the hell is going on. Restream has a problem with their chat. It's really too late for me to do about it. I have a checklist, and I'll add do comments work to my checklist, but this is just getting crazy. So here's what a paddle is. A paddle, I used to hoop with these really big hoops, like a lot of people, like hoops so big that you had to, old schoolers will know what I'm talking about, but you had to push it down and then roll it to get it into the back of your car. That's how big it was. My first hoop, like people will talk about like how my 38-inch hoop is like a Cadillac and the biggest hoop in the world. I used to hoop with a hoop that was 5'6". It was 5'6". I mean, I have some friends that could have used it as a sear wheel, and that was my hoop. And there would be times when I was working on a movement. I mean, there's a lot of different reasons that this move came about, but there'd be times where I'd be working on something like shoulder hooping and need a boost. It really showed up in angle hooping, and I would need a boost of momentum. And so paddles developed for me as a way to put momentum on a gigantic hoop. Now, they very quickly became an expression, but, well, reasonably quick, but they did not, I forgot to turn my ringer off, sorry about that, but they did not start that way. They really started as a way to necessitate the hoop. And so the reason I bring that up is that sometimes if you for whatever reason, if I'm the source, then sometimes when you know like how the source got there, if you're having trouble with it, you can go back and sort of retrace their steps, retrace their sort of lineage of the movement. So the reason I share that is so that as you are learning paddles, a lot of times what people want to do is they've seen me or someone else just go off and just like basically, speed bag the hoop. That's not how it started. And how it started was these big pushes from your hands onto the hoop to give it like a sort of resuscitation in movement. So a paddle is really meant to help the hoop. Now, I don't really know why, of all the terms that, that I believe came through me, I don't know why Okay, sweet. Amber, it has me on both. Sweet. If you've got the internet, you're welcome. Hey, Amber E. Harris, thank you for for chiming in there. So, shucks. So basically, with these paddles, they are. I'm resuscitating them. I'm trying to put push on the hoop. Now, fast forward after I had been teaching. Well, actually, I may not have been teaching, but it was. Fast forward like a couple of years later, and I don't know if any of you keep a hoop journal. I try to keep a hoop journal where I write down the stuff that happens and whatever. After like 4 years, I had like 6 entries, and they were always like one sentence. Yep, sweet Amber. They were always like one sentence. There was one time, there was a sentence where I wrote in all caps, which was kind of typical of me, but I wrote in all caps with an exclamation point. I wrote, "Paddles are lifts." And what's funny about it is, as simple as that statement is, it was a breakthrough moment for me, and it was a breakthrough moment in my teaching especially. Because what a paddle is it's you putting force on the hoop. You're pushing the hoop, right? You're putting force on it. When you're learning lifts, especially in the old days with the really big hoops, when you were learning a lift, a lot of times you had a tendency to kind of flagpole it, to sort of like get the hand up, do the thing, and then the hoop would just kind of die up there. And so when I started, figuring out a way to express to people and understand my own movement better, that a lift actually is better looking, better pulled off, cleaner, tighter, everything that you would want when you are pushing it, or there is some sort of push. And if there is not push, then that's because there's a pull somewhere. The hoop likes like sticky contact. So that's what we're going to get into tonight. We're going to talk about paddles. I really hope this playlist doesn't get me kicked off of Facebook. I have been working. I'm so excited to have the stream somewhere where I can focus on content now. So I'm really stoked to be focusing on this. Let me know if you have any problems. If you're hearing me now, I have a feeling you'll hear the music and everything will be fine. I have a new addition to my new thing. I have a Sheila cam. Sheila is my housemate and friend, and she has been taking almost every single class. Some of you have asked about what she looks like. Now you get a chance to see her sort of dimly lit. This was my idea. It was not her idea, but I thought it might be cool to watch, to have like another reference for you than just me. One thing I want to point out is that Sheila has only been hooping since she's been living here, which was the 1st of April or May? May, the 1st of May. So she has not been hooping that long, and she does hoop a little bit outside of class, but most of it is in class. And so she's a natural athlete, but I'm encouraged by her progress in such a short time. Okay, we're going to get started. And yeah, so we're going to start off with sway. You should be hearing music right now. And if you're not, I would love it if you would tell me. Okay. I hope you dig the new lighting here, guys. We've got some more surprises on the way. Thank you, everybody, for the donations. I'll take that off right now. It's a little too early for that. Again, as always, I love it when you guys chime in. If you're on YouTube, you'll just have to send it to my heart. Okay. Sweet. Thank you. Look at Hoots on. Oh, Jackie probably. Thank you. Audible breath in. Audible breath in. The way that I have always thought about paddling, although things expand, is paddle in the sense of the verb like a fish with a fin or a seal with a flipper, that they paddle those flippers and they are within the current as they push. When you are learning paddling, in a sense, you're learning how to swim with the hoop's current. In order to do anything with anything, we need to listen to our beat first. We need to find our rhythm first. The current will help us find it, but the closer we are to it before we engage, many times, oftentimes, the better. This class is a movement class, and this is your warm-up. I believe in three pieces of the human being: the mind, the body, and the spirit. What spirit is has changed for me many times over my life, oftentimes, many times within a few years. But the way I'm currently most comfortable in describing it is my soul's interaction with the world. That it's not my mood, because I know my moods can change, but my spirit is my connection. It's the context of the world around me and the very essence of me. The indivisible part. Audible breath in. You now in this moment to breathe into that. The part of you that remembers being in second grade, the part of you that remembers being in ninth grade, the part of you that can travel back to certain moments and feel them as if they're happening right now. So deep that it's not lit, so deep that it's not dark. Okay. That was a nice sway for me. I really enjoyed that. I hope you guys did too. Okay, we're going to move on into our hoops now. And I think what I'll do first is we're going to do a little warrior style. For those of you, if you're taking this for the first time, I'll try not to leave you in the dark. If you're on YouTube, I'm sorry guys, I cannot see your comments. You can hop over to Twitch at HoopPath Bax, it's free. Or you can message me through Facebook, or we can just, oh, Heather from Australia is here. What's up, Australia? That's nice. Okay, we're going to warm up because we are going to be doing some paddling. And we're going to warm up in what's called warrior style. Warrior style is lots of turning and moving. And that's pretty much it. It could be on body or off body. It's a lot of turning and moving, and it's a lot of movement based on strength, resilience, courage, and even form. By saying that, I mean that my hands are part of my movement, both of them, and I'm creating forms with them. And this is a warm-up exercise, so those forms don't have to be amazing. They don't have to get me on America's Got Talent. What I want you to do is you warm up to this song tonight. Since we're going to be working on paddles, which are arms, what I want you to do is switch grips, switch hand positions, or at least like which hand is holding it. And then what I really want you to do is to bring some action to that off hand, something we've been talking about for the last few weeks. It is really easy for me to change the music and the volume, so if you need more mic or less music or more music, let me know. A beginner, one skill that you may overlook working on sometimes is movement of the whole body, even if you're only holding the hoop with one hand. It sounds kind of elementary and sort of simple, but you actually have to teach your body how to do it. Unless you're hooping in front of a mirror or a TV camera the whole time, you have to teach yourself how to move the other arm. What I'm doing right now is just simple opening movements of tracing. We've talked about this in other Thursday night classes, but as you move, especially in Warrior, you can really open up your reach with a little bit of weight behind it. You can push out and swing big. Left hand. Good. So what I'm working on right now, and I know that some of you, sometimes it can feel a little awkward in the beginning to just even to know how to move. But what I want you to do is take big swings if you don't know. Good. Nice. Good. One thing you can feel with your warm-up before we actually get into the paddling is pushing out and pushing in, straightening and curling the hands. That's a paddle motion. And of course, see, one of the cool things about hooping, especially warrior style, is like right now, as I'm working on what I just asked you to work on, I'm also working on my grip strength. Okay, I'm not getting any comments right now, so I hope that I'm still alive. Okay. I'm a little worried that this next song might get me kicked off. I don't know how popular it was. I think it was pretty popular, but it's an old song, so I'm hoping that they'll let me keep on. If you are watching this stream right now and you can let me know that you are still here, that would be awesome. Okay. Okay, we're on the waist, and we're going to start off with some waist hooping tonight to get us warmed up for paddling. Oh. Forgot my main line. We're still here. Sweet. Alright, so Twitch is here at least. Maybe Facebook is. Hopefully YouTube is. I'm sorry, YouTube, that I can't see your comments. You have no idea how much of a bummer this is, but yeah. Software. Not my problem, not my fault this time. I'm sorry. Alright, if you're a beginning hooper, one of the best pieces of advice I can give you is you learn to waist hoop, and I really recommend that you learn to waist hoop. There's so much yummy to waist hooping. But as you learn to waist hoop, I encourage you to learn to move your hands at the same time, because every hoop move, well, not every, but lots of hoop moves involve the hands and the arms, and you have to kind of teach your body how to move them while doing something else. Sweet, Rachel. Thank you, Facebook, for chiming in. Good. And so as I'm moving, waist hooping, I'm going to try to move my hands a lot because that's what we're activating. And what I'm trying to do is create a good math problem for my mind to figure out, which is how to move my hands and how to waist hoop. Moving my hands, warming up. We're going to be working on paddles and lifts. Some of the things that we're going to be working on will involve the space behind you. So you can go ahead and try to stay upright. I'm bad at this. Push those hands in tonight. Push these hands in today. Roll them as you're waist hooping, opening. This is some of the stuff that we worked on in last Thursday, which I just can't emphasize enough. I know we had some technical glitches on that show, but I really think that I'm not even worried about you as a hooper, but just you as a human being. When you start to open the hands up, you'll realize just how much movement flows out of that space. If you know how to hoop in both currents, I would go ahead and do it. Every time you learn a lift, especially a lift off the court, every time you learn a lift, you're learning a lift. You can learn it one current and then learn it the other current. Good. Now, some of you know this about me, some of you figured it out about me, but I'm kind of a fitness geek too, or I'm more of like a body geek, right? And so one of the things that I really started doing a couple of years ago is to keep my elbows high, not all the time, but just as sort of a change of pace, and to get some movement there. And what you might feel is that when the elbows are kept high and they're up near the shoulders, it's a workout. And this is not a two birds class, but just look at the difference here. Does it look more natural? It feels more natural to move your arms. I had a hooper once say to me, I just don't know how to do it though. I want to move my arms, but I just don't know how to do it. My advice to her, to you, to anyone is if you really don't know, just pretend like you're playing a drum or just move your hands in any way. Right? Like we're actually just teaching the body how to do two things at once. Okay, so far so good? Okay, sweet. All right, so we're going to talk a little bit about paddling now, and I don't think I'm going to do any background music, and this might be a little bit dry, but since this is the intro class, I want to just give everybody a chance to, if you're new, to understand some things. So there's an easy way to feel a paddle, even if you don't know how to shoulder hoop, don't know any of the more advanced ways of core hooping. You can still feel a paddle at the waist, and I think it's a good way to introduce yourself to the paddle. So what I do is I put my hand down here and I push it, right? Boom, boom. And I put my hand in there and I push. If I drop my hand in, I can just let the hoop roll across. Now, if you're just starting hooping, I have a feeling that when it hits your arms that it'll kind of die. Okay, so what you're going to want to do is maybe just go in for like 1 or 2, which is the normal number that you'd be doing anyway in the beginning. So I just come in, I make contact one time, make contact one time, make contact one time. Now, I'll tell you I can't see you, of course, but I've taught this a lot. Sometimes people want to hunch over their hoop, right, while they're doing it. I think it comes from laptop work and ATM machines and all the different things that we huddle into. But what helps with paddles is to be upright and to push back. So I push my arm into the hoop. I'm just going to let it hit my forearm, right? And then I'm going to let it move across. Now, if I don't move my forearm at all, it's going to kind of deaden the momentum of the hoop. And this is where we get into the idea that you need active paddling. And what that means is that a paddle is not just pushed out there, unless you want it to be. It's not just pushed out there. It's a push with force. So when I go in to make this contact as it's rolling around here on my arm, to really make it work, I need to put some push on the hoop. And I can send that push through my core, through the arm, like just literally pushing it. Or I can start to assert the arm a little bit, where I am pushing it as it's going around there, okay? Wow, this no comments thing from YouTube is hard to deal with. I have no idea if I'm even live right now. All right, so if I push both, once we get one arm in to paddle that, then we're going to try to get the other arm. I think I do want some music on. Yeah. But it's going to be kind of crazy stuff. Okay. All right, here we go. It's going to be pretty fast. Well, maybe. Okay, here we go. Okay, so I'm here. I'm on the waist. I'm letting it come around. I'm making contact here. Once I get... Okay, yes, I'm live. Thank you, Heather Crossleaf. I guess you're reporting from YouTube, which I really appreciate, y'all. Together stronger, right? All right, so I'm hitting this contact, and this is, again, I want to keep this for beginners. You're going to just try to make contact at first, right? And the less you deaden the hoop as it comes across, the better, right? Now, there's one more thing you can think about, which is, where is my hand? Sweet, Amy, thank you. Where is my hand making contact in the hoop? For instance, right? Like I'm using my left hand right now. I'm going to dip down. This is a paddle with my hand right next to me, okay? All right, you see that? All right, now I'm going to try to come into like maybe, if you know your if you know your clocks, I'm going to come into like what would be 5 or 4:30 here, which would be here, right? Good, and I can feel that, and then I can kind of like, your body is just like learning a bike. Your body goes, oh, okay, when I feel that, I need to move down, right? And then I can go further over and feel something like this. Now, this is a great position for lifts, and this is a great position for learning how to swoop the hoop up to the shoulders. So if you can learn how to go in from the side here, feel that, go in here, feel that, and then come across all the way here and feel that, just to give you a sense of where this goes, this is how I get into shoulder hooping, right? Because when the more lead time, that is to get into shoulder hooping is paddling, right? So to get into that shoulder, right, to get ahead of it, to give myself as much time as possible, I'm going to reach in and then pull that hoop up, okay? So if you don't know how to shoulder hoop, don't worry about it. But if you've been trying to learn how to shoulder hoop, most of the time you just need momentum. This will get you there. So I'm here, or I'm here. I mean, of course I can be anywhere. Or if I'm all the way over here, do you see how the shoulder turns into my day, turns into day side here? And then when it's time to send it home, to send it back to the other side, I send it back, duck the other hand in. Sheila just pulled off a perfect one. Thank you, Sheila. Let me know if you guys like the student cam. I thought you would. Again, she didn't ask me to do this. I just wanted to do it. Okay, so then once I get those hands, then I'm going to be back over here, do the same thing again. I'm going to stay in whatever current I was in. I'm going to come down here. I'm going to get here. Good. I'm going to get here. Good. And then I'm going to get over here. Now, when I come over here in the same current, hey, Haley, when I come over here and I'm in the same current, right, it's not going to be a move. I wouldn't use that to get into shoulder hooping because I'd be pushing away. It's running away from my push that way. So this is the other position. Definitely a lot harder, right? So I'm going to the left. My right hand reaches across. Not really a whole lot of reason you would need that unless you want to fold up into penny. But, it's one thing to learn, right? Don't worry about that one. It's a little bit tricky. So then here, 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 okay? Now I'm going to give you a chance to play with the music. I'll bring it up a little bit, but let me show you kind of what this is some super old school hooping here, but, Anna was really good at this. But the idea was that, like, you would come in and out and make, like, brief contact with the hoop, and then get your hands out. And then what Anna was good at doing was kind of, she was better at it than I am, but was dipping in and out. She made it look cool. I don't really make it look cool, but it's great for hand-eye coordination, right? And, I love teaching to 20-somethings, but I love teaching to 60 and 70-somethings. And so, like, working on your hand-eye coordination clearly, as has been told to me by you guys, is key, right? And so then as I'm going in, I can make this contact, right? Now this can be kind of rough on your hands. This is definitely, I'm kind of showing off by wearing like a t-shirt hoodie. It's definitely easier if you're bare-skinned. Almost all hooping is. That's why hoopers don't wear clothes. Okay, now I'm just going to sort of progress with this. Y'all can ask me to slow down if I need to, but I'm trying to keep a good pace going here. So then this is me moving my hands, trying to basically stay in the hoop, and I can push with my forearms, and then if the hoop comes up, it might be at my elbows, it might be at my, my tricep, bicep, And this is paddling, y'all. And like I know that everybody wants to fast forward through this. I know on replay this will be like the part that everybody skips. But one of the things I think hoopers sometimes need to understand, yeah, right, Rachel, the more skin, the better grip. One thing I don't think hoopers understand is that you're training your body to do something. Like, I come from a sports background world. You know, like if you do track and field, they train you how to react to, you know, the gun going off to start the race. Like, you train the body to do things. And I think in hooping sometimes we forget that. We just want to train to the move, right? But this is a way to train the body to make a connection of rhythm. Now, one thing that's cool, I know this is an intro class, but just to open you up to shoulders, when I'm down here like this and I'm making contact in the hoop, if I start to slowly push my way into mountain, the hoop rises up magically, right? So I'm here. I've gotten used to this. I've gotten pretty good at it, but before it starts to run out of gas, I'm just going to push my hands out and I'm mountain, and that hoop comes up. I'm trying not to curse right now, like in life, but that comes up and I'm up here and I'm in mountain up here. And then one of the things that we work on in shoulder hooping all the time is if you think of the arms, like if you know the HoopPath stories, if you know the story of Anea, she learns to shoulder hoop by treading water, right? And so if you think of your arms as once they're under there in shoulders as pushing up, you're paddling, right? The hoop's not making contact at the hand. Instead, it's making contact at the base of the shoulder, probably. Okay? So not to get too far ahead, if you're new to this, here's your waist hoop. Hopefully you can waist hoop. I really recommend that you learn how. You develop this skill first of just pushing the arms in. Then you start to keep them in. All right? And then if you want to try it, I can come up to shoulders. Keep my arms moving. Now let's say you say, Baxter, well, I was up here at my shoulders, but then the hoop started to fall again. Let it fall, resuscitate it, right? Before it hits the ground, before it runs to zero, resuscitate it. Let it come back to your safe, pull it back up, boom. So I'm down here, and I'm fishing here. Oh man, I missed my YouTube. Told everybody to go to YouTube, and now I can't connect with you guys. But you can Facebook me if you really have something you want to say or share. So thank you for joining me. These are paddles. All right, then there's one more super old school move, but this can actually help your hand to learn to carry weight on the paddle. It's an old school move. It's a little bit easier with a big hoop, I'll be honest. But what you do, you're getting dizzy. All right, well, this will get, Heather says she's getting dizzy. This will like, so is Sheila. Sheila Cam is revealing that she's dizzy also. So you can, if I go in with my hands just like this into the hoop, I mean, they don't have to be, but they're like this, and this is gonna be their sort of starting and ending point. I can go down, this is a super old school move, but it's essentially going from a paddle to a paddle, and this is what it looks like. I'm turning with the hoop, and that's giving it flight, right? Otherwise, I would have to move my hands like super fast. Actually, this won't help with being dizzy, so Heather, take a break from this. You can do it without turning, but it requires really fast movement, right? Again, I'm trying my best to be a badass at 80, or really 90. My granddad he lived in 96, never was under anybody's care, and so I'm trying to hit that, and I think that certain exercises like this one will help me get there. Okay. All right. Here we go. Let's move up a little bit into lifts and paddles. So if I'm going to give you two basic lifts. These are going to be hard to get the first time. But you can go to YouTube and watch the replay. I just realized I'm kind of running low on time here. I'm sorry about that. So the first lift, we're going around the body. The hoop travels to the left of me. My AM side is my right side because the hoop is making contact here. It comes onto my day here. So this is day. And then goes off into night, and it goes off on the PM side, right? So if I wanted, I'm going to the left. If I wanted to do an AM lift, that would involve my right hand. That would involve the hand that the hoop is going away from. This first lift, there's another class on this also. I don't want to spend too much time on this because I want to jump right into paddles. But there's a lift here where I push back. You guys are seeing my palm. I'm going to turn, push my hand out, and then wax on, right? Or whatever. I'm going to wax on. The hoop's going to roll in my hand and then move around my hand. So I'm here up into a flat. I do this while turning. Hand is here, back. This is that same paddle motion we were doing before, right? And this time I'm going to turn, boom, and I'm up here. Nice, Sheila. Good job. So that's called an AM lift. That's because it's the AM hand. If you're going to the left, it's the right hand. You're going to the right, it's the left hand. One more time, the hoop drops in. I turn. Now, the more I turn, the more open the hoop remains. Open means that the window stays open, right? So if I turn a lot, I can take so much time to pull this off, right? If I turn a lot with it, I just have to catch it in the beginning. Up. All right. If you're on YouTube and joining me, I'm sorry I cannot see your comments. I really apologize for that. So one more time, I reach behind me. You can feel the hoop make contact. No, kind of like we were talking before, not to get too deep in the weeds here, but the further over I get, like in yoga, like the further the wrap is or whatever, that I get, the more lead time that gives me to pull this move off. And the closer to the hip I am, the less time I have. Okay, PM lift. All right, so that was the AM, the hoop is going away. The PM lift, also called, I heard it called the hitchhiker lift one time. You're gonna come down to what is the sunrise side, where the hoop runs onto you, kind of like we were doing before. This paddle that we were doing right here is essentially what you're gonna be doing. And I'm gonna come over, I'm gonna put my thumb out. I mean, there's a million ways you can do this, but I'm gonna put my thumb out, let the hoop roll onto my thumb, and then as I'm turning, I'm gonna push out, and it's gonna roll into my hand. So I'm here, I'll push out, and it rolls into my hand. Okay? So PM is the hand that the hoop is coming towards. Whatever current you're in, doesn't matter. It's the hand that the hoop is coming towards, right? I'm gonna drop my hand in and then push out. All right. I'm gonna give you a chance to practice those. I'll be demoing them. This is a very techie class tonight. I'm trying to help some people get this very simple but sometimes hard to get move. Now, remember in my talk, I told you that paddles were lift. It was this big discovery for me. You'd have to be able to do a lift once or twice successfully to sort of get to this point of nuance. Nice, Sheila. But if I feel weight on the hoop, either pushing or pulling, if I feel weight, it's usually a slicker, better looking lift, right? And so it's the paddle is the lift. Like I am pushing my weight into the hoop or pulling it back onto me. And when I make that connection, see how crisp that is? So that goes off, and I almost send it off and then back on, right? So I'm here, send it off and back on. I don't have to do that every time, but it gets rid of the flagpole. And this is the flagpole. Okay? That's the flagpole. All right. Okay. This is the crazy. Up here, boom, boom. Same with down here. If I push, boom, boom. If anybody's on YouTube and takes a water break and wants to check this out on Facebook, message me, let me know it's still there. I think it is. If anybody's on Facebook and taking a water break and you want to keep me posted that we're going live, that's awesome. Boom. Okay. Oh, sweet, Kelly. Kelly on Twitch saying she'll check it out on replay tomorrow. Thank you. Boom. This might be a little bit better for replay, but if I want to start to learn the vortex, and if you think of the vortex as paddling, it makes it a lot better. When I'm pulling out, pushing out, pulling back in. It comes out, I push out, I pull it back in. I push out when the hoop's here on the front of my hand. I pull back like when it's in point, like when I push back on the back of my hand, right? So it's here, and I push back. Let me get to where you can see it. So I'm here, and then I pull it back. Don't worry so much about the push, but what really helps you make them quick and kind of warrior looking is when you snap them back to you, right? So I'm here, it comes off, boom, and I snap it back. You see how quick that is? Boom. Wow. I'm actually a little too close to the camera here. Okay, here we go. All right. Boom. Now, if I wanted to do the vortex, I'm going to do kind of a combination of moves that we were doing before when we were doing the paddles like this and then the lifts, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in. Amber says she's liking the class. She has trouble getting dizzy. Hey, guys, you get better, but, pace yourself. This is on replay. I think on YouTube you can actually pause and then start it again. But anyway, the vortex, let me show you this. So I'm here, and I'm going to pull it up. Do you see how I went into that paddle-to-paddle thing? I went to here. I pull it across the back, but it gets to here. It gets to my back, and then it goes up into a lift, okay? Then when it's on that lift, instead of bringing it back to the core, I'm going to bring it back to my other hand and drop it in. Sweet, Angie. Thanks for saying what's up. She says she'll catch up later. All right, so we're here. This is definitely a review class, right? This is definitely a replay class. So let me show you what this looks like together before I get too distracted. I come in, come out, back down. Boom. Now, where people have trouble and why I'm including this in a paddle class, and I know we're running a little bit late. I'm going to include some shoulder paddles, and then we'll call it a night. Because the clean comes from the paddling. So when I'm up here and I'm coming down, I am pushing with my hand. I'm pushing here. It comes to the back of me. Push. Let it roll, pull, and then back down again, and goes through all those pushes, right? So this is what it looks like done continuously. A little bit of a twist on my AM arm, if you know your AMs. If AM is your right if you're going to the left, right? Shauna asked a good question. Yeah, sure. So a couple of you are asking if I can slow up just a little bit. Let me see if I can. Let's see if this is any better. This might be a little bit better for you. Okay, so you can kind of see what I'm doing here. The hoop is going to come in right here on the lift, and I'm going to push. And as I push, I'm going to push out. And remember, the hoop's going this way. So I'm going to push out as the hoop is coming around. It's going to come here, make contact. I won't be gripping it, obviously. And then here, it's going to come down. I guess, Sarah, the best way I could describe it, guys, is if you've done contact ball, you learn how to let an object sort of roll in your hand or let an object move in your hand. If you've ever spun a pin in your palm or something like that, that you let the object move. That is the kind of movement that happens when you're doing this move. So I will say that when I'm bringing the hoop, Amber says you're amazing. Sheila says, thank you, Amber. So when I am lifting up, Sarah, so I am here, and I was just noticing as I was doing this that as my hand was coming up, my thumb was creating a shelf there, right? So as my hand is coming up, my thumb is creating a shelf to kind of like secure the hoop. Now, I am not gripping it, although some people do. Nice, Sheila. Nice. Not too many people get their successful attempt on broadcast. But I'm here, and I come up. Okay, you know what, Sarah? You've been such a good student. I'll just give you this straight. I'm realizing because of your question that almost just doing the thumb in may be the easiest way to do it. It's not the way I normally do it, but it is pretty easy. So I'm going to come back here, push my thumb into it, and it's pretty easy to get up. A little bit different move than I just taught you guys, but sometimes, sometimes we learn things in different ways. Was that easier for you? All right, so if it's going to the left, my right hand pushes down in here. I'm going to try it with my thumb going in like that, okay? Boom, all right? And then it's going to come out, all right? Boom. Yeah, that might be a good one. Okay, so then to continue it with the vortex, damn, we're running out of time. I guess I talked too much. We're running, so then to continue with the vortex, so you can sort of see me up close here. It's going to be an AM lift. It's this arm thing that we were just doing. That's going to come in, but then when it gets here, it's going to be, let's see, it's going to meet at the hand, and then that sort of pivot I'm talking about will happen there where the hand pushes it back down, okay? So it comes up here and then pushes it back down. If you wanted to break, actually, if there's a way you could break this up, I just realized, where I'm up here, right? You could just start up here and just learn how to drop into your waist, right? That's a drop in. Maybe I got ahead of myself here. So if I learn to drop into the waist, the drop in's when kind of like the opposite of a lift, where you bring it onto the body. And so if I'm good, Sheila just did a successful drop in there. And so what I'd want to do is learn how to drop into the height of the hand that the hoop is coming towards, right? This is me doing it. Maybe I'll give you the night side view here, and you'll be able to see this a little bit better. If the donations keep coming in, I'll hire a cameraman, and we can, maybe he'll be able, or they'll be able to. Okay, shucks. All right, well, we're already out of time, and I haven't really talked about paddles at the shoulders. So I do want to talk about those super fast, and if you have to check out, I understand. So paddles at the shoulders, I'm here. This is where most people do them. So if you're a beginner, you can use paddles to get you up to the hoop. I'm here. I can get paddles to get me. I know I'm using the tight camera, but I want to see if you guys can see this better. So if I can use paddles to get me up to the shoulders here. And then this is that push that I was talking about in my opening talk, where I push with the hand. It's just like we were doing before at the waist, right? Except this time I'm going to bring the hand, I'm going to get it really close to the core. This is where most people mess up, okay? Let me show you something about paddles. I want my palm, there's loads of ways to do it. We're going to have to do a part 2, Amy. We'll do a part 2, I'm sorry. Let me just introduce this. I'm sorry I ran a little late on time. It's kind of unprofessional, my bad. But you bring the... Sweet, okay. I bring my hand up as close to the core as I can. The hoop rolls across it, okay? As it's rolling off, I push. It's going to push out, okay? So I'm here, and I'm going to push this way. So that feeling we were doing before when the hoop was down here and I was pushing this way, right? We're going to do the same version of that on the shoulders. And I'm just going to bring it up, keep my hand as close to my chest as I can. I got a good seal there. I'm just going to let it go across, right? Kind of a Pledge of Allegiance type hand position there. Good, good. So Sheila's doing a good job. She's got that there. Now what she wants to do as she pushes it away is keep the elbow high. Instead of dipping down like this, keep your elbow high and then push that way, okay? I know this is the close-up cam, but I'll be pushing. So I'm here. So I feel this. You see the angle that I got? Kind of a Pledge of Allegiance, maybe a little bit higher. But then I'm going to push, but keep my elbow high. Nice. She's got a nice crisp paddle going on there, okay? Now I'll just tell you what she's doing. She is going to the right. She's pushing with her right hand, so that's a PM paddle, okay? So if I switch hands, PM paddles might be easier, they might be harder. You know, like one of the things I've learned from teaching people is that some people learn things differently, okay? So I'm here, boom, 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 boom. Okay. Last thing I want to add, and then I'm going to give you a long free hoop. I know that we're late. I'm sorry. We'll come back to part 2. Sorry for everybody that has to bail here. But the last thing I want to say is I feel this contact here, and I push. We'll come back to this in the next class. But we push here. And if I bring my arm up and push out after all the lifts we've been doing, I'll create a nice, clean shoulder lift that I really like to pull off. I used to do them all the time. So I'm here. I'm feeling this contact, but I'm not just pushing out this time. I'm just going to push up, and it's going to create this nice, quick boom, 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 boom. Nice. Okay. All right. I really want to give you guys a chance to listen to some music for anybody that's still here. Wow, there's so much to cover. I'm sorry that yeah, okay, she thinks it was perfect, so that's good. Let's see. Okay, guys, thank you very much. We're going to free hoop from here. There won't be any more instruction. Oh, I didn't put the drum mat link up. Shucks. I really do appreciate the donations, guys. They really do mean a lot to me. They're in the description of the video, but here's the link if you need it. The last move was sweet. Heather, sweet. Thank you. I think you're the one that was in Australia, so cheers. Thank you, guys. Let me know what you think of the setup. I'm not going to talk that much anymore, but let me know if you think of the setup. Do you like the Sheila cam? Are you happy with things? The next jam will be Sunday at 4 o'clock. Sunday at 4 o'clock. Again, I will figure out the YouTube thing. I'm not exactly sure what happened there. Sorry about that. There won't be any more instructions tonight. Carla Jones likes the Sheila cam. So does Amber. So. Sweet, guys. I'm going to try to figure out a way to maybe include you guys sometime, but I'm still figuring that out. Zoom apparently is horrible, so I don't want to use Zoom. Welcome, Heather. Glad you had a good class. Thank you, guys. I will be back Sunday with the jam, and then we're going to have a myth class on Monday. Let me make sure I get this out. Yeah, on Monday, we're going to have a myth class. And they've been asking me for another myth and flow class. Those are my favorite teachers. So I'll be right, but I'll be teaching one of those on Monday. Thank you, guys.
expected from the ghetto. Lay low, let my mind shine like a halo. Always up with the scheme. Always up with the scheme. Keeping it retro, expected from the ghetto. Lay low, let my mind shine like a halo. Always up with the scheme. 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 Always up with the scheme.
You're welcome, Kelly. All right, thank you guys. I know we're running late. We'll do this song and we'll do a cool down and then call it a night. If no one's here, I really appreciate all your support and attendance. I also want to say big thanks to everybody that's watching this in replay. Every night I watch, or the next day I'll watch the views go up and realize that people are watching in replay, and I really appreciate it. And I get your comments. I need to get better about responding to them, but I do get your comments, and I really appreciate the feedback that you give me and the help and the support. Replay on YouTube, I was not able to see people's comments tonight. So if you're seeing comments in the video feed, I couldn't respond to them. I wasn't ignoring them. Okay, we're gonna slow it down, maybe get kicked off of Facebook. I bet we're mostly off anyway, but we'll try it.
I don't believe you. It's in your eyes and the way you talking. I know we've been through some awful times now. It's been a while now since I've seen your face.
Thank you, everybody. I'm signing off the mic. I appreciate you.
Trying to tell you things that I keep to myself. Is this you crying for help? You crossed the line on your own. take it. You get fucked up, I don't call back. You're always out, a service for text. They don't mean much, can't understand. Too far apart, up in our heads. Things that I keep to myself. Is this you crying for help? You cross a line on your own. Went through it all by yourself. Don't you dare come back around. Don't come around. Don't you dare come back around. Well, I'm on a high and you're feeling down. Don't come back around. Don't you dare come back around. Well, I'm on a high, you're feeling down. Don't come back around. Yeah. Don't need this weighing me down. No, no. Don't you dare come back around. Don't need to come back around. Don't need this weighing me down. Haven't been nice for some time now. Don't you dare come back around. Don't come around. Don't you dare come back around. Well, I'm on a high and you're feeling down. Come back around. Don't come back around. Don't come back around. Well, I'm on a high, you're feeling down. Come back around.
Sweet. Heather thinks I look like the Karate Kid. That might be true. Or Ralph Macchio, doppelganger. All right, guys, this is the last track. Thank you so much. I don't know if anybody's still here. It's a nice, stretchy, slow track. I'm going to do some balance and hand walking. Thank you guys so much. Again, thank you for the donations.